The text message came on a cold November evening, 3 weeks before Christmas. I was sitting in my apartment in Seattle, finally settled after years of struggle, when my phone buzzed with a message from Mom. "Sweetheart, it's been 3 years since you've been home for Christmas. Your father and I miss you so much. The house feels empty without you. Please, can you come home this year? We'll even pay for your flight. Family should be together during the holidays." I stared at that message for what felt like hours. 3 years. Had it really been that long? The truth was, I had my reasons for staying away. Growing up, I was always the responsible one, the one who sacrificed, the one who put everyone else's needs first. My younger siblings got the attention, the praise, the love, while I got the chores and the criticism. But that message, it tugged at something deep inside me. Maybe things had changed. Maybe they finally valued me. Maybe this Christmas would be different. Mom misses me, I whispered to myself, feeling that old familiar hope creeping back in. I typed back quickly before I could change my mind. "Okay, Mom. I'll be there. Thank you for the flight." Her response was immediate. "Oh, honey. You've made us so happy. I'm booking your ticket right now. December 23rd to January 2nd. We're going to have the best Christmas ever." 2 weeks later, the ticket confirmation arrived in my email. Round trip Seattle to Tampa. $847. My heart swelled. They spent that much money just to have me home. Maybe I had been wrong about them. Maybe they really did care. I immediately requested time off from my job at the marketing firm. It wasn't easy. Christmas was our busy season, but I made it work. I wanted to believe this was my chance at having a real family again. The days leading up to my flight were filled with excitement. I bought gifts for everyone. A cashmere scarf for Mom, a leather wallet for Dad, toys for my 3 younger siblings, Mia 8, Jake 6, and little Emma 4. I spent over $400 on presents, money I'd saved from months of careful budgeting. On December 23rd, I boarded that plane with a heart full of hope and a carry-on full of wrapped gifts. During the 5-hour flight, I imagined how it would be. Mom's warm hug at the airport, Dad's proud smile, maybe even an apology for all those years of making me feel invisible. The plane touched down at 6:47 p.m. I texted Mom. "Landed. See you soon." No response. I collected my luggage and walked to the arrivals area, scanning the crowd for familiar faces. 30 minutes passed. Then an hour. I called Mom. No answer. I called Dad. Voicemail. I called the house phone. Nothing. By 8:30 p.m., I was sitting on a cold metal bench outside the terminal, my phone battery at 12%, watching families reunite all around me. The irony wasn't lost on me. They spent $847 to fly me home, but couldn't be bothered to pick me up? Finally, at 9:03 p.m., my phone rang. "Mom. Oh, sweetie. I'm so sorry, we got caught up with dinner preparations. Can you just grab an Uber? We'll reimburse you." My throat tightened. "Mom. I've been waiting here for over 2 hours. I know, but we have so much to do before Christmas. You understand, right? You're so independent and capable. That's why we love you. See you soon." She hung up before I could respond. I spent $67 on an Uber, money I didn't really have to spare, and arrived at my childhood home at 10:18 p.m. The house was lit up, warm and inviting from the outside. I could hear laughter and music from inside. I rang the doorbell, my hands shaking slightly from cold and something else I couldn't quite name. Dad opened the door, drink in hand. "Oh, you made it. Come in, come in." No hug. No apology. Just a casual greeting like I'd only been gone for a day. I stepped inside, dragging my suitcase behind me. I had no idea that the nightmare was just beginning. The house looked exactly as I remembered. Same beige carpet, same family photos on the walls, though I noticed most featured my siblings with only a couple including me. Same floral couch that had been there since I was 12. Mom rushed out from the kitchen, her face flushed. "Honey, you're here." She gave me a quick, distracted hug that lasted maybe 2 seconds before pulling away. Come, meet the kids. They've grown so much." Mia, Jake, and Emma were in the living room, surrounded by what looked like an explosion of toys. They barely glanced up when I entered. "Kids, say hi to your big sister," Mom chirped. "Hi," they mumbled in unison, eyes glued to their tablets. The evening passed in a blur of awkward small talk, and me feeling increasingly invisible. My siblings talked about their school achievements, their sports, their friends. Every time I tried to contribute something about my life in Seattle, the conversation somehow shifted back to them. By midnight, exhausted from travel and emotional whiplash, I finally asked, "Which room am I staying in?" Mom's face lit up in a way that should have warned me. "Oh, about that. We've turned your old room into a playroom for the kids. You don't mind sleeping on the couch, do you? It's only for 10 days. Only 10 days. On a couch. In the house they'd begged me to come to." "Sure, Mom," I said quietly, because what else could I say? That night, lying on that uncomfortable couch with a thin blanket, I heard Mom and Dad talking in their bedroom upstairs. The old heating vent carried their voices down clearly. An architectural flaw I discovered as a teenager. "I still can't believe we got her to come," Dad said. "I told you the guilt trip would work," Mom replied. "She's always been easy to manipulate. Too desperate for our approval." My blood ran cold. "And she'll really watch the kids for the whole week?" "Of course she will. Where else is she going to go? We paid for her flight. She owes us. Besides, you know how she is. She'll do anything to feel like part of this family." I lay there in the darkness, their words hitting me like physical blows. This was planned. All of it. The next morning, December 24th, Christmas Eve, I woke to the sound of suitcases being wheeled across the floor above me. I sat up, confused, as I heard footsteps rushing back and forth. Mom came down the stairs, fully dressed, makeup done, looking happier than I'd seen her the night before. "Oh good, you're awake. Perfect timing. Mom, what's going on?" She smiled that bright, fake smile I'd grown up with. "Didn't I mention? Your father and I are going to Hawaii. We leave in 2 hours. We've had this trip planned for months. It's our 25th anniversary. 2 weeks in Maui, all-inclusive resort. We're so excited." I felt my stomach drop. "What?" "But it's Christmas Eve. I just got here." "I know, sweetie, and we're so glad you're here. Because you're going to watch Mia, Jake, and Emma while we're gone." The room started spinning. "Watch them? Mom, I came here to spend Christmas with you and Dad. And you will. You'll spend it with your siblings. They're family too." She was still smiling as if this made perfect sense. "Besides, you're so good with kids. And you don't have children of your own, so you have plenty of time." That last comment stung more than she probably intended. Or maybe exactly as much as she intended. "Mom, I took time off work for this. I bought presents. I thought." "You thought what?" Her smile finally faded, replaced by that cold expression I knew so well. "You thought we'd all sit around and cater to you? We have lives, sweetie. This trip cost us $8,000. We're not canceling it just because you decided to visit. You begged me to come home." "Yes, because someone needs to watch the kids. Did you think we'd take them to Hawaii? Do you know how expensive that would be? You're 28 years old. It's time you contributed to this family instead of always taking." I stood there speechless as Dad came down with their luggage. "All set?" he asked Mom, not even looking at me. "All set," she confirmed. And just like that, I understood. I wasn't their daughter coming home for Christmas. I was their free babysitter. They left at 11:47 a.m. on Christmas Eve. I stood in the doorway watching their Uber pull away, my mind still trying to process what had just happened. Behind me, I could hear the kids fighting over a toy, their voices rising to screams. Mom's final words echoed in my head. "There's food in the freezer. Emergency numbers on the fridge. We'll be back January 7th. Love you." January 7th. They'd lied about that too. My return flight was January 2nd. They'd be gone for 2 weeks, but they knew I'd only be there for 10 days. They'd planned this so carefully. I turned around to face 3 children I barely knew, in a house that had never really been my home, on what was supposed to be the most magical night of the year. "I'm hungry," Emma whined, pulling on my shirt. "Me too," Jake added. Mia just stared at me with her arms crossed, looking eerily like a miniature version of Mom. "You're not our real babysitter. You're just our sister who never visits." The accusation hit hard because there was truth in it, twisted truth, but truth nonetheless. I had stayed away. I had built a life far from them, but they didn't know why. They didn't know about the years of being overlooked, criticized, used. Okay, I said, taking a deep breath. Let's figure out dinner. The kitchen was a disaster. Apparently, Mom's food in the freezer meant 3 frozen pizzas and some chicken nuggets. There were no fresh vegetables, no fruit, nothing that resembled a proper Christmas Eve dinner. I made the pizza and called the kids to the table. They complained the entire time. Too much cheese, not enough cheese, wrong kind of pizza, why can't we have McDonald's? After dinner, they wanted to watch a movie. Then another. Then another. By 10 p.m., I'd finally gotten them all to bed, with Emma crying for her mommy and Jake asking why their parents would leave on Christmas. I didn't have an answer that wouldn't hurt them. Christmas morning was chaos. The kids woke up at 5:30 a.m., rushing to the tree where presents were piled high. Presents Mom and Dad had bought before leaving. There was nothing under that tree from our parents for me. Not a single wrapped package with my name on it. But there were presents from me to them, the gifts I'd carefully chosen and wrapped. Mom opened hers via FaceTime from a beach in Maui. Oh, a scarf. How nice. Listen, honey, we're about to head to breakfast. The resort is gorgeous. I'll call you later. She didn't call later. The days blurred together into an exhausting routine. Wake up to screaming kids, make breakfast, break up fights, clean up messes, make lunch, more fights, activities to keep them busy, dinner, bedtime battles, collapse on the couch, repeat. I called my boss on December 27th, voice shaking. I'm so sorry, but I need to extend my time off. There's been a family emergency. It wasn't a lie. This entire situation was an emergency. We really need you back for the New Year campaign, he said. But I understand. Just try to be back by January 2nd at the latest. I looked at my return ticket. January 2nd. 5 more days of this. On December 29th, Mia had a meltdown because I wouldn't let her eat ice cream for breakfast. She screamed, I hate you. You're the worst. I want Mom. And locked herself in the bathroom for 3 hours. Jake broke a lamp playing indoor baseball because I'd said no to going outside in the rain. Emma cried herself to sleep every night, asking when Mommy was coming home. I was drowning. On December 31st, New Year's Eve, I sat on the couch at 11:45 p.m., the kids finally asleep upstairs. My phone buzzed with photos from Mom. Her and Dad on the beach at fancy restaurants on a sunset cruise, cocktails in hand, both of them glowing and relaxed. Not a single message asking how the kids were. Not one word of gratitude. Just vacation photos like they were rubbing it in my face. As midnight struck and fireworks exploded on the TV screen, I realized something. I was done being their backup plan. I was done being invisible. I was done being used. And I was about to make sure they understood that. January 1st dawned cold and gray, matching my mood perfectly. I woke up on that miserable couch with my back screaming in pain and a clarity I hadn't felt in years. 10 days of being treated like hired help in my own family had burned away the last of my desperate need for their approval. The kids were surprisingly calm that morning, tired from staying up late the night before. I made them breakfast in silence, my mind working through what I needed to do. First, I opened my banking app. The Uber from the airport. $67. Groceries I'd bought because their food in the freezer ran out by day 3. $243. Emergency pharmacy run when Emma got a fever. $38. Takeout pizza because I was too exhausted to cook. $45. New toys to stop the fighting. $67. Total. $460 of my own money spent, not counting the $400 in gifts. Then I calculated my time. 10 days, roughly 16 hours per day of active childcare. 160 hours. At Seattle's going rate for nannies, $25 per hour. That was $4,000 worth of childcare. They owed me $4,860, not counting emotional damages. I took screenshots of everything. Next, I called the one person in the family who had always been honest with me. Uncle Richard, Dad's brother. He'd always been the black sheep, the one who called out their behavior. Uncle Rich? It's me. Kiddo. How's the family reunion going? The concern in his voice made my throat tight. I told him everything, the manipulation, the abandonment, the 10 days of unpaid labor. Mom and Dad living it up in Hawaii while I struggled alone. There was a long silence. Then, I'm going to tell you something your dad would kill me for saying. This is exactly what they did to your Aunt Maria 15 years ago. Flew her in from Boston for family time, then left her with your cousins while they went to Vegas. She hasn't spoken to them since. This is their pattern. My hand started shaking. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because your parents are very good at rewriting history and playing the victim. But I see you, kiddo. I've always seen you. What do you need? I need to document everything. And I need you to be my witness. Done. Send me everything. I'll back you up. That afternoon, while the kids napped, I did something I should have done years ago. I went through the house and gathered evidence. I found the Hawaii booking confirmation in Dad's email. He'd left his laptop open sloppy. Booked 3 months ago, right around when Mom started her guilt trip campaign. I found a text thread between Mom and her sister where she literally wrote, "I can't believe she fell for it. She's so desperate to be part of this family. 2 weeks of free childcare. We couldn't have planned it better." I found a group chat with their friends. "We're kid-free for 2 weeks. Hawaii, here we come. Our daughter is watching them, LOL. Each discovery was another knife to the heart, but I documented everything with screenshots and photos. On January 2nd, my last day, I packed my bags at 4 a.m. while the kids slept. I called a neighbor I'd known growing up, Mrs. Patterson, who'd always been kind to me, and explained the situation. "Those poor children," she said. "Don't you worry, honey. I'll come over at 8 a.m. and stay until your parents get back. This isn't right what they did to you." I left $200 cash for Mrs. Patterson with a note of gratitude. Then I wrote a letter and left it on the kitchen table. "Mom and Dad, I came home because I thought you missed me. I thought after 3 years maybe things had changed. I was wrong. You manipulated me, used me, and treated me like an unpaid servant. You didn't want your daughter for Christmas. You wanted a free babysitter. I've documented everything, the texts, the emails, the expenses, all of it. Uncle Richard has copies. Mrs. Patterson is coming at 8 a.m. to watch the kids until you return. I've paid her $200, money you will pay me back, along with the $4,860 you owe me for expenses and childcare. You have 30 days to send payment. If not, I'm posting everything publicly and letting your friends, your church, and your community see who you really are. You taught me something valuable this Christmas. I don't need to be part of a family that doesn't value me. Don't contact me unless it's to apologize or send money. Done. Your former daughter." I left the house at 6:30 a.m. I didn't look back. The flight back to Seattle felt different. Lighter somehow, despite the heaviness in my chest. I landed at 3:47 p.m. Pacific time and immediately turned on my phone. 17 missed calls from Mom. 34 text messages. 12 voicemails. I didn't listen to a single one. Instead, I went home, ordered Chinese food, and slept for 14 hours straight in my own bed. The most peaceful sleep I'd had in 10 days. When I finally checked my messages the next morning, the pattern was predictable. First, confusion. "Honey, where are you? Why isn't Mrs. Patterson here yet?" Then anger. "How dare you abandon your siblings? We're on a plane right now flying home early. Do you know how much this cost us?" Then guilt-tripping. "After everything we've done for you? We paid for your flight. This is how you repay us." Then threats. "You've ruined our anniversary trip. You're not welcome in this family anymore." Finally bargaining. "Okay, let's talk about this. Maybe we should have communicated better. Call us." I didn't call. Instead, I sent one text to the family group chat, the one that included Uncle Richard, Aunt Maria, who I'd reconnected with, and a few cousins who I'd learned had similar experiences. Since Mom and Dad are telling their version of the story, here's mine with proof. I attached every screenshot, every receipt, every piece of evidence. Then I added, "I'm not asking for your opinions or your mediation. I'm simply showing you who they are. What you do with this information is up to you." The response was immediate. "Uncle Richard, I've seen this pattern for 30 years. Proud of you for standing up." Aunt Maria, "They did the exact same thing to me in 2009. Welcome to the club of family scapegoats." Cousin Jenny, "Holy shit. I always wondered why you stayed away." Cousin Michael, "This explains so much about our family dynamics. Even some of their friends who were in the group chat went silent, a silence that spoke volumes." My phone rang. "Mom, I declined." "Dad, Declined. They called 17 more times that day. On January 5th, I received a certified letter at my apartment. Inside was a check for $5,000 and a typed note. Consider this payment in full for any expenses incurred. We expect this matter to remain private within the family. Your father and I are very hurt by your accusations and your betrayal of trust. If you wish to reconcile, you know where to find us. No apology, just payment and deflection. I deposited the check. Then I framed the note as a reminder. Some people will never see their own toxicity. 2 weeks later, Uncle Richard called. You should know, your mom has been telling everyone you had a mental breakdown and abandoned the kids. She's playing the victim. Let her, I said calmly. Anyone who matters has seen the proof. Your siblings are asking about you. Mia keeps asking why you left. That one hurt. They're kids. They didn't ask for any of this. Maybe one day when they're older they'll understand. And maybe they'll reach out. Maybe, I said. But I'm not holding my breath. 3 months later, I got a text from an unknown number. This is Mia. I found your number in Mom's phone. I'm sorry we were mean to you. I heard Mom and Dad fighting about what really happened. I'm sorry they lied to you. When I'm older and can leave, can I come visit you in Seattle? I cried reading that message. Yes, I wrote back. When you're ready, my door is open. That Christmas I stayed in Seattle. I volunteered at a local shelter. I had dinner with friends who chose to be my family. I decorated my apartment with lights and played music too loud and laughed until my stomach hurt. And I didn't think about them once. Because I finally understood something. Family isn't about blood or obligation or guilt trips or manipulation. Family is about people who see you, value you, and choose you. And I had finally chosen myself.